Yeah, Nadia, this was the first extensive public statement made by Iranian President Hassan Rouhani in response to Mr. Trump's decision on Friday, and it's very likely only the beginning of a very intense diplomatic feud and a fight for international public opinion between Washington and Tehran that's probably going to last until May 12th. That's the next deadline where Mr. Trump has to once again make a decision on this nuclear program. Remember, 2 days ago, Mr. Trump once again reluctantly decided to waive nuclear sanctions against Iran. Today, in a statement, Mr. Rouhani essentially saying this was a win for Iran, a win for the nuclear deal, and a sign that the nuclear deal was working and it had too much support for Mr. Trump to kill it. Even so, it's very unlikely that Iranian officials behind the scenes are celebrating. For one, the Iranian government, the Iranian people have yet to feel the benefits of the nuclear deal signed back in 2015, and the government has to figure out a way to address that and deliver on the promises of the deal to the people. And then it's become increasingly clear for the Iranians and the Iranian government that Mr. Trump is looking to torpedo this nuclear agreement and at the very least undermine it. He threatened to do so on Friday, calling on European allies to fix it by adding more restrictions when it comes to Iran's ballistic missile program and making the restrictions on the nuclear program permanent. So in the coming weeks and coming months, look for intense diplomacy coming from Washington and Tehran, targeting European powers, both Washington and Tehran, through these next 4 months. Will be trying to get Europe to come to their side. This argument in the next big date, of course, May 12th.
And meanwhile, this Sunday, authorities in Tehran have also released a new toll for the recent unrest across Iran. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, this is new information coming from state media regarding the anti-government protests that took place here throughout the country a couple of weeks ago. A new death toll, according to a judiciary official, now standing at 25, up from 21 people killed. A judiciary official not offering details as to how these individuals were killed. They said it was a mix of security forces and protesters. The official did point out that none of the protesters were killed by security forces because they had been instructed to not open fire. The state media also reporting hundreds of detained protesters throughout the country have been released. They say there's 55 detained protesters still in custody in Tehran and about 400 throughout the country. So this is a sign that the government seems to feel that the tension has been eased, that the threat of a widespread uprising at this point doesn't exist anymore, but now a pressure on the government to address some of those economic grievances from those protesters a couple of weeks ago.